We are bringing light into the dark. The dark is not usurping the light. But that doesn't mean the effort isn't there to try and change things. There is a reason that you are seeing a discussion around transhumanism throughout all media outlets right now, and all that we are finding in the Internet of Things, which appears to be becoming the Internet and human body of things. Part of that has to do with our physical body being used as an energy unit, a transmitter, an antenna, if you will. Another has to do with building up a controllable, programmable network. We're being told it's all about advancing the human race. But is it? Many of you have been seeing new videos popping up all over social media about this topic and have shared concerns over the kinds of things that you're finding. Are they true? Or is it just another distraction? Well, my guides tell me there is a purposeful leak to a degree. As we know, in the past, these findings would have been removed long before we got to see them. So why do you think that they're leaking information out into the world for people like us to see right now, from scientists, engineers, doctors, and many researchers just like you, to find it, to see it, but more importantly, to feel it? From my personal understanding, it's because they know that we will eventually find it anyway. So why not make an attempt to scare people and enjoy some looshing for a while, and to use our biogenetics as a power station? And if they can do it fast enough or long enough and change us into machines before the flash of light or high frequency event, as I like to call it, the ascension pinnacle point, then they think they have a chance of survival. Those at the helm know that they've lost, and their ability to exist is moments away from deletion if they cannot turn us into non-biologicals. So while I'm going to go through the additional foundational pieces to add to your health prep kit, which may just help protect you and your family from these things, today I wanted to ask you to focus on helping turn things around by asking one simple question that you can utilize daily in your life, and that is, how good can it get? Truly, instead of looking at everything that's going wrong, everything that is bad, everything that may be frightening, let's change our internal narrative and ask our angels, guides, and source, God, creator, universe, choose whichever word fits your belief system, to show us, ask that question, how good can we have it? How good can it get? How do we transform it? Where do we find the answers to the questions that we've been asking about? By bringing light into the things that we use daily, the things we see daily, and the things we feel, even though they have been created maybe from that low vibrational world of 3D, the matrix, the dark side, we are here to transform it into light. Hi everyone, my name is Tam. I'm an energy intuitive and have been helping people heal around the world for over 20 years. Today, I'm excited to share empowering information that will support your wellness journey and help you raise your vibrational frequency. I will give you an update on where we are at from a planetary perspective and touch upon how to overcome any low or negative frequencies that might be headed our way. If you were just joining us for the first time, this is part 2 of our September 2024 energy update and our discussion on building up our personal health preparedness kit. So if you haven't watched part 1, please pause the video and do so now. It will actually help you understand what I'm discussing in today's video and give you the initial foundations of what we're building here and why we're building them. For those of you who are ready to jump into the additional foundations to boost your immunity core and raise your frequency, grab a pen and paper for note-taking or ready your computers for a little typing in case you do want to keep some notes on hand. Now, a little recap to get us started. Last month, I was deep in meditation when my team of guides and higher self kind of popped in for a visit to kind of advise me to put this together for all of you. They gave me information on some of the kinds of things to expect as we move into the next 3 to 6 months and asked me to translate the details and share with anyone who is inspired to take a listen. If this resonates with you, that's great. But if it doesn't, you know what? That's okay too. All of us are on a different adventure during this timeline, even with everything going on around us. So what message is meant for one may not be meant for all. Please just use your discernment and only keep what feels right for you. When we know that danger is around the corner or that something is just off, we have to ask ourselves if that feeling is for us in our home, our local community, or if that uncomfortable energy that we're sensing is on the other side of the world. Why? Because if you feel danger near you, you need to act quickly, correct? But if the concerns that you're feeling for that danger are across the planet and you cannot do something about it, it's important to possibly pay attention, but not allow it to overcome you or interfere in your world unless you are truly in a place to do something about it. Now, this does not mean that you don't care or wish that you could help, but I mention this only because living in fear of everything that you think and feel, or see for that matter, will only hold your frequency down and decrease your ability to function. And if you aren't able to function clearly and confidently, you can't help yourself, and then of course you can't help your family or your friends. But most of all, the body can weaken, and it will be challenging for you to actually heal. Your strength in the coming months is going to be needed for your mind, your body, and emotional well-being. I am being told that we truly have nothing to fear, but being prepared will be really important so that we can minimize the challenges ahead. The key here is all about empowerment. And you're going to hear me say that throughout the series. Empowerment and keeping the body in the highest frequency as possible. That's truly what all of this is about. This is our classroom. This is the learning time for all of us to achieve the next steps. Last week, I talked about the first 2 foundations to help you build your prep kit. The first was grounding, or earthing, as many call it, and the second was the importance of using meditation, not just for stress relief or relaxation, but to help you raise your frequency and also open up your pineal gland. So this week, I want to talk to you about sound frequencies, how they can actually help you, and also give you a short list of other things that you can use to help boost your personal energetics. Now, before we do that, let's talk briefly about what frequency is and why it's important. The human body is a complex system that resonates at various frequencies, with different parts vibrating at very distinct rates. Now, research has shown that the overall resonant frequency of a standing human body is right around 7.5 hertz, while a seated posture, so if you're sitting down, generally resonates between 4 to 6 hertz. However, individual organs and body parts also have their own specific resonant frequencies, ranging from about 3 hertz to 17 hertz. Maintaining a high vibrational frequency in the overall body is crucial for health and well-being. Now, if we were to use measurements in megahertz, a healthy human body typically resonates at a frequency between 62 to 78 megahertz. Now, when disease begins in the body, we actually see a change. And that means there's a drop in frequency. And that frequency usually happens when we see disease. The body measures at 58 or lower. And I won't go into all the numbers, but there are certain numbers we know when there's what we would call a death spiral, or where that body is starting to lower and lower and lower. We can see where the body is actually breaking apart in regards to the sound frequencies. So again, I won't go through that today. I just want you to kind of know that there is measurement. There's a true scientific measurement with the things that we're talking about. Now, you can see why, by just saying that, keeping the body in a higher frequency is actually really important for overall well-being, and why exposure to certain frequencies can have positive effects on the body. For example, some studies have actually explored, on the positive side, the potential benefits of something like 40 hertz sound waves for conditions like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. Additionally, sound healing practices using instruments like a tuning fork or a singing bowl, and even the human voice, have been shown to promote healing and restore balance in the physical, mental, and emotional body. Now, these are frequencies that we are aware of in the physical 3D world that we live in. But as we move into even higher frequencies, we begin to move out of the 3D world and up into our 5D world. Now, I won't go into this now, but I wanted to give you some reference to what we're discussing today, since so many people are talking about moving into 5D consciousness. Now, as you can see, there are very important reasons to keep your frequency in a higher state, for your health truly depends upon it. So this is why we're discussing the importance of knowing how to raise your frequency during times of challenge. Now, I know the numbers can be a bit confusing when we discuss body density and frequencies. Some lower numbers might appear to be used to help balance out or negate a low vibrational cell, like maybe cancer, as I just mentioned. But I want to talk about our emotions and how those frequencies relate to everything that we're discussing. Because this is where you have the control to change your life. So I'm going to place a guide for you on the screen here that will give you an idea of how critical our emotional vibrations are, because the emotions that we feel become the energy that we actually emit. And this is one more tool that you have that is free, and it cannot be taken away from you. Okay? This is your empowerment, your power. Now, for anyone seeing this for the first time, this body of work that we're going to talk about briefly is from Dr. David Hawkins. He's passed away. I think he passed away in 2012, I think. He was a renowned psychiatrist, physician, researcher, and spiritual teacher. And he authored several influential books, including one of my favorites that if you've come across him before, you will know this. It's called Power versus Force. That is the title of the book. It was basically, he introduced this concept that he called the map of consciousness. Now, if you haven't read this book, I truly, again, recommend it. But in this book, Power versus Force, Hawkins presents a scale of consciousness calibrated from 1 to 1,000, with different emotions and states of being corresponding to specific frequency levels of the body. Now, this map of consciousness is based on, again, his research using applied kinesiology, and aims to measure the vibrational frequency of the various human states. A brief example you'll kind of see here on the scale shows his emotional frequency chart of things like enlightenment. So enlightenment would be that kind of highest attainment in the human realm at the moment, 3D, that we're talking about. That is 700 to 1,000. It is rare to find that person or people who resonate that high, but there have been, from what I understand, in regards to, if we look at certain individuals and how we actually apply these particular tools during a certain amount of lifetime. You'll also see what I want to bring your attention to is neutrality. So neutrality sits at 250. That is your vibrational scale there. When you go up from neutrality, you'll see willingness, acceptance, reason. You'll see all the different types of things. Joy and love kind of resonate. It's showing 540. Joy is usually higher. And if we'll talk about this in a minute, but 528 hertz is generally referred to as the love frequency because that's where love tends to reside. So again, we'll talk through some of these pieces. I don't want to go, this isn't a training on all of this. I just want to touch some of these because it'll help you understand the larger scale of the science that's kind of behind some of the things that we're going to talk about. Now, obviously the key that we want to look at are the things that are lower than that at the moment. So anything below 250 is going to be a low vibration. Now, courage you think would be kind of a good thing, and it can be, but when we're looking at that, it's the courage to do something next. The courage you usually have to muster from a lower part of you. If you even say that word or if you feel it, you will more than likely feel how you have to kind of push into it to kind of have the courage to do something. There's an actual feeling that goes with it. So see if you notice it. It's sometimes a good way to play with those words to understand them and how they feel in your body. But when we start looking at some of these other things like fear, anger, those are the types of things right now that we are, I don't really want to say battling with, but that's kind of a word that's coming to mind right now based on many of you who are looking at this, watching videos, seeing what's going on in the outer world, and especially if you're feeling that we can't do anything about it and if it's scaring you. So these things are really important to just be aware of so you can understand it from a different perspective that's not necessarily sitting in your body and in your emotional quotient. Now, Hawkins proposed that emotions and thoughts at the higher levels above 200, again, are more beneficial, right? They're more powerful, while those that are below 200 tend to be destructive or weakening. His work suggests that by raising one's consciousness level, individuals can experience greater well-being and positively influence others. Now, we have seen that, just so you know, it's a little side note, in health and healing. From my perspective, if I look at a human body, if I were to measure someone's frequency on that scale, I would tell you that this is very true to what I see and how I work in the healing quotient. I can literally use kinesiology when I'm working on someone physically to see where they're at, how their body responds. Now, if we go back to the chart, right? This chart is actually approximate, so I want to make sure we know it's not a hard stop on any of these numbers. But I wanted to post so that you could actually see why those of us who work in energy and quantum physics or even sound healing talk about the importance of these vibrational frequencies. This isn't, I know a lot of people throw these words around because they've heard it somewhere, but this is a very interesting, wonderful science that we can use to our advantage, which is why I'm talking about it today. So this is why things like if you add tools even in like an instrument, music, or even your own voice can help raise your energetics or even the frequency of things around you, like your home, your pets, your family, and of course your environment. Now, I usually suggest using the frequency if we were to do that, right? Let's just say we pull a tool to use, or you want to get a tool to make sure you have something around the house in case you need something quickly. I usually suggest using something like a tuning fork, okay? Now, I usually suggest two of them. There are several that you can purchase, but I would say if you want to go down that road, they're not expensive, so I'll go through that in a minute. I usually suggest using the frequency of 528 hertz. Again, I mentioned that is considered the love frequency, unconditional love, or 432 hertz, which is known as the more of the healing frequency to the body. It promotes calm and relaxation and balance. Now, both are really great to use, so you could certainly use both if you want, or just pick one that you kind of resonate with if you want to find one to kind of bring into your world. Now, of course, not all music online is equal, but there are things that you can do. You can do a research, do a search online, do a search on YouTube, doesn't matter where. You can find some that maybe you might resonate with. Someone who's done some music, they might advertise it at 432 hertz or 528. I would just give it a quick listen, see if it feels right for you, and then kind of go from there. But there are some really great musicians out there who get this, and they have started creating music in 432 hertz. Now you can play music in the background during the day. Use that to help raise your frequency. Whenever you need help, maybe just to balance, you could use it at work. No one would know the difference. You could use it in the car, obviously at home. All of that's good. It helps protect your personal biosphere. And of course, you can always use it to meditate with. Now, for those who do have an interest, you can purchase sound bowls or tuning forks in both 432 and 528 hertz. Sound bowls tend to be definitely more expensive if you're getting them tuned to that. Some of you, if you've got the money, go for it. You'll love it. They're kind of fun to play with. But when you're looking at something just easy, inexpensive, you can find small tuning forks even on Amazon that are under $10. They aren't necessarily professional grade, but they're small, but they work just fine. They can be really helpful if you're kind of feeling run down or you just need a little pick-me-up. Maybe your neighbors are screaming and shouting and you need to kind of reduce your stress from that, because it may not even be your stress. You grab a tuning fork. They're very easy to use and inexpensive, right? Now, I did create a healing soundscape that I did allow Wonder to use. So they've got it on their website right now in their relaxation room. So I'll leave the link below for you in the description, but it's a 7-minute sound healing audio. I created that one in 432 hertz. So again, I'll leave the link before. Use it. If anyone who wants to use it, it's free. And you'll get a chance to check out the Wonder website, which is really great. But I would say that is a freebie, 7 minutes, play it in the background, meditate for 7 minutes. It's kind of a great way to do both meditation and sound all at the same time. Now, if I do have some room at the end of this video, based on timing, I might just go ahead and attach it for you. And then that way you can just sit back and give it a listen. Okay, so moving on from that, besides using the frequencies that are out there in music, in addition to using sound frequencies, I want to add in creativity, laughter, and gratefulness. Now, creativity, laughter, and gratefulness are powerful tools that can significantly raise your body's frequency, promoting healing and, of course, overall well-being. Creativity stimulates the mind and engages multiple areas of the brain, releasing endorphins and reducing stress hormones. This shift in brain chemistry can actually elevate your frequency, allowing for improved mental clarity and emotional balance. By engaging in creative activities, you open yourself up to new perspectives and also possibilities, which can have, of course, a positive ripple effect on your overall health. So an example, when I say creativity, yes, of course, you could be creative. You could paint, you can, do something within the arts field, but maybe you're not an artist. That's perfectly fine. If you're into music, that's a great way to be creative. But even if you're just baking a cake or you're wanting to explore something in the kitchen, it doesn't mean you have to be good at it. It just means that you're trying something new and it's something enjoyable for you. It could be fencing. It could be taking a jog in the morning and being creative on which path you take, or maybe you're, zigzagging instead of running straight. It doesn't matter what it is. It matters that you're using the part of your brain that stimulates creativity. This actually engages your senses, and your entanglement begins, which is another subject, but the entanglement begins with consciousness in a way that is amazing because you're actually tapping into being a creator. So think about our creator from God universe standpoint. You are a creator. You are creating something new thoughts. Maybe you write. Maybe you want to sing or write a song. It doesn't matter, again, what it is. Engage it. Those are the things that are really important that light up all kinds of areas of the physical, mental, and emotional body that start tuning up into higher frequencies. Now, laughter is often called the best medicine for a good reason. And when you laugh, your body releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which can boost your mood and immune system. Laughter also increases oxygen. So whenever you're breathing in and taking in oxygen, that actually stimulates circulation and starts to relax your muscles, all of which contribute to, again, raising your body's vibrational frequency. Now, this elevated state can truly enhance your body's natural healing processes. And of course, gratefulness has a profound effect on your mental and physical state. Practicing gratitude regularly can shift your focus from negative to positive aspects of life, reducing stress and anxiety within minutes, if not seconds. This positive mindset change directly influences your body's frequency, as thoughts and emotions are forms of energy, as I mentioned earlier. And we do have science, again, to back all of this up. So even if you just take a moment to do some research, you will be really surprised at what you can find on this. Gratitude has been linked to improved sleep, reduced inflammation, and better cardiovascular health, all of which contribute to your body's overall healing capacity. By incorporating these practices into your daily life, you create a positive feedback loop that continually raises your vibrational frequency. This elevated state allows your body to function more optimally, enhancing its natural ability to heal and maintain good health. Now, the combination of creativity, laughter, and gratefulness creates a really powerful synergy that can transform your overall well-being and resilience. Again, all of these things you can do for free, no matter what is going on in the outside world. I know that many of you have probably come across these subjects over the last couple of decades in the self-help arena, so they may not be new to you. However, our higher teams have asked me to kind of bring this up again because most people may have enjoyed using the tools as they began their initial consciousness journey, but they've kind of dropped away. But I would say that most didn't really truly understand the power that these tools actually have. And that's why they are critically important to revisit, even if they've come across your path before, or most certainly at least to take them more seriously now. Okay, so what if you just lost your job? You lost your home? Maybe you lost your health? What in the world would I be grateful for? As I know some of you might be thinking. You truly might feel like you have nothing. And here's what I would suggest. Look for what you do have. If you have no shoes, be grateful that you have 2 feet. If you don't have 2 feet, be grateful that you have 2 arms, and so on. I know that sounds extreme, but honestly, especially in this day and age, we take things for granted and we forget that we have so much more than we think we do. The importance here is to remember that we are building up our frequency in the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual worlds. Of course, we're going to have moments of grief and concern, but when we practice using our empowerment tools, we get stronger, we get wiser, and we can adjust to the surrounding environment much quicker and without emotional attachment. Our immune system gets stronger. And what is most important at this current time is that our biofield will get stronger and the lower frequencies will not be able to get into our field. In other words, we are creating our armor of light. And this is where we will stand, not because we've built a light around us, but because we are the light and are building that light from the inside out. And this is how we win. Now, there are several other things that you can do to help yourself increase your vibrational field. And so I will add an initial list at the end of this video for you to review that are, easy to implement. Many of them you may have heard before. Some of them are so simple you may laugh, but hey, laughter raises your frequency, so why not, right? Now, in the next week or so, I will record part 3 and go into high vibrational foods that you can incorporate into your daily life. And of course, if I have time, I will actually start to discuss the vitamins and the supplements that also are helping with some of the things we're dealing with right now, and some of the people behind them and why you should pay attention to them as we move into the next couple of months. And of course, as we approach October, I will also make sure that I update you on any information that might be coming in that could help us as we move into the next phase of our transformation. I hope you have enjoyed the content in this video today and that it helps you understand that there are several things that you can do to help empower the well-being of yourself and your family. If you are inspired, please like and share with your friends and family, of course. Subscribe to the channel that you might be viewing this on. Now, I have shared this video with others who do understand its importance, so supporting that channel is always appreciated by everyone involved. As many of you know, this kind of information sometimes doesn't quite make the rounds for people to easily find on social media. So you can certainly help by just, again, subscribing and playing the videos so the algorithms can actually pick it up in the feed. I so appreciate each of you for taking the time to want to listen to what all of our unseen friends are trying to help us with. I know this time on our planet is of great concern to many, and I want to reinforce that the messages I have been given is that we will make it through this. Together, the light of our collective shines as 10,000 suns, and no one can actually break that bond. Sending love to all. I'll see you next week.